Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Hurdle the Line preview show. I am your host, Fletch. This podcast is brought to you by the AAW Network, part of the AAW NFL offering. Joining me, as always, on a Thursday night are my two wonderful, wonderful co-hosts. My team can't be in the playoffs, so we have to have some playoff representation. On the board, we have Sam and his LA Rams, who are in the divisional round this weekend, and Karl and his Patriots, who are also in the divisional round this weekend. Lads, how does it feel to watch your team play football this weekend? I don't know.
To be fair, we're kind of sort of, and especially in recent years, kind of sort of used to it.
Yeah, I
I
can't
don't.
say I can't say the same for my team, but it's an absolute joy to be back watching them win playoff games again. So
I have had this feeling twice in my entire fandom of 10 plus, of like nearly 13 years. Both of those two were the last 2 years. Um, so I said on Monday how quickly this feeling gets normal and how horrible it feels this weekend to not have it. But I am so glad, said through gritted teeth, for the pair of you that you do get to enjoy your teams this weekend. Before we do get into it, though, as always, please go to the links in the description of this episode. If you are on YouTube, look over here right now. Look over here. Go right down there. In there, you will see a description of the episode. You can click show more. You will see lots and lots of blue links. Those blue links will take you to the AAW social media, to the AAW NFL social media, and to join our free to join Discord server because you know what? Playoffs are better with friends and you can enjoy the playoffs with some friends in our Discord server. Go and follow us. Go and follow these wonderful gentlemen as well on social media as well. More importantly, though, we do want to just get straight into football because it's the playoffs. College football national championship on Monday night. Divisional round of the NFL playoffs this weekend. We have so much incredible football to watch this weekend, and we just want to talk about it. First, though, is the main piece of news I think that's kind of been breaking today, slash last night, slash this morning. John Harbaugh is pretty much all but named to the New York Football Giants as the head coach. I believe it's a 5 year, $100 million deal. That's what I've seen reported. I'm not sure how true it is. What, lads? What do we think of this one? Is it? It's a good
I think
hire.
it made the most sense. I think of all the teams that are looking for um head coaches in this year, I would say maybe apart from the Falcons, this team is probably in probably one of the better situations going forward. I
Yeah,
know they still need to make a few additional pieces, but I think this is kind of gives John Harbaugh sort of a break from the AFC, which I think, sometimes you just need a break and you need to go somewhere else. But it gives him a project to work on. And I think, he's got players that are very young. He's got a defense that is very strong or is building up to being, a much better defense. It needs a couple of pieces, but I think it's a good project to go into, and it has a desirable pick as well, which obviously is always a helpful thing going into the draft. So I think he'll be able to put his own stamp on this team, and hopefully be able to get the Giants actually playing some better football. Because even though the team was had good pieces on it, it never seemed to be playing good football.
yeah, yeah. What do you think, Carl?
yeah, I echo what Sam said. Correct choice for the Giants. As I said to you already, the next head coach needs to be experienced, needs to preferably be a Super Bowl winning head coach, even though it was 14 years ago, but you still got a Super Bowl to your name, so you're still
Yep.
validated. But most important of all, you have to deal with the New York media. You have to be experienced and know the know-how to deal with the media from New York City sports journalism. Yeah, perfect decision. I think the Giants, it's a lot of money. 5 years, 100 million. You just better hope it pans out. Um, The only thing I'm going to say is there's I have a slight complaint. The Giants did blow a lot of fourth quarter leads this season, or rather the regular season just gone. John Harbaugh is has blown the most fourth quarter leads out of any coach in NFL history. That's the only thing that slightly worries me, but you just hope that John Harbaugh has gone there because he likes what he sees in Jackson Dart. He likes what he sees in this defense. He likes what he sees in this coaching staff. Um, and the Giants are, let's be real, they're in a division which is, I know the Eagles are head and shoulders above everybody else, but if the, you know, but let's be real, the Cowboys are going to be the Cowboys at the end of the day. Washington, who knows how if Jaden Daniels is going to return back to form, and then you got the Eagles, who got bounced last week. They now Nick Sirianni's under the cosh a little bit. So if anything, the Giants now, if they get everything right, they could. I hate to be a fortune teller here, but they might do, they could end up doing what the Patriots might do and go from worst to first if everything falls in their favor.
I mean, you've
they
got.
would be on an easy schedule, to be fair.
What would they? Oh, hold on, wait, Sam, you're my friend. Fletch is my friend. Let's not go down this road, okay? I'm not ready
No,
to do
I'm
this.
just saying they will have an easy schedule because they have been so bad. They finished bottom
I
of
know, but
the
what do you know?
thing.
What is their schedule? Do you know where it's ranked?
No, I haven't actually looked at
Okay,
this
fair enough.
schedule. I just assumed just because obviously whatever their game is against the divisional, they'll play the fourth team in that division, won't they? So at least they're going to have an easier schedule.
Let me
I
look
haven't
this.
actually looked at it.
Let me look this up whilst you still chat away. Um.
As it stands, so I've just seen this. I've got it up in front of me. The
Oh.
New York Football Giants will have a like 17th ranked strength of schedule based on final records of the 2025 season at 0.498%.
Hmm. So it's middle of the road currently.
Yeah, yeah, 17th out of 17. Sorry, 17th out of 32 even.
Hmm.
But that's based upon that without obviously we don't know what any of the big changes are going to happen behind the scenes, how the draft's going to go, etc. So that could change. But as it
And
stands, it's 17th.
The
and also,
NFC,
yeah.
so the NFC East will play the NFC West in 2026. Obviously, that's going to be,
Oh.
well, you get the Cardinals for that one. So there you go. You can have that one. The NFC East will also play the AFC South, and their interconference game, like the single extra one, the NFC East will face the AFC North. So NFC
AFC
West,
North. That means they play the. No,
it'll be the Browns.
they'll be able to play the Browns.
Right.
Browns.
Mean defense.
That'll be a slugfest.
But that'll be the they'll have a brand new head coach, and depending on when you play them in that schedule, you could get them with you'll both have a brand new head coach, and chances are you'll have the head coach with more experience.
Yeah.
It'll be two sophomore quarterbacks going up against each other, but I'd have a bit more faith in Jackson Dart. You know,
And the thing
it'd be
is, though,
different.
was and the thing is, though, with the strength of schedule, okay, it's okay looking at right now and saying, yeah, okay, so they've got a middle of the road type of schedule here, but that's not factor in what could happen in free agency, what could happen in the
Yeah.
draft, what could happen at training camp, injuries happen at training camp, then what happens as the season progresses, whether teams are actually on a good win streak right now with a winning record, or they're absolutely shit in the bed and actually having an under 500 record. So it fluctuates over the course of the season. So
To
But
be honest, I'm just looking at their opponents, and I actually think that they have probably one of the hardest schedule. They have a very hard schedule.
they would
When
do.
you look, I mean, you look at who they're. I mean, Dallas are Dallas. If we knock off the in division games, the Cardinals, yes, okay, fair enough, it's Cardinals.
It's a freebie.
Browns, I mean, one of the, it's Miles Garrett at defense, but obviously if he's still there, which is probably likely. But that defense is very difficult. It's going to have a new head coach, etc. We've already explained. I think the Saints are going to be a lot better next year. I think they could be potential divisional title contenders, depending on again how they do in the off season. The Niners will be, if they get the likes of Fred Warner back, they'll still be pretty good. Titans are the Titans. Lions, Texans, Colts, Rams, Seahawks. They're all away as well. That's horrendous. Away. So you got to go to the Lions, you got to go to the Texans, the Colts, the Rams, and the Seahawks. That's awful.
That's brutal.
To be
That's
fair,
actually brutal.
did you see their game on the road against the Lions this year? They put up one. Like they could have very, very easily won that game.
And Denver. And Denver.
Yeah, I mean they're obviously going to put up. They're going to be putting up fights and that, and be probably even more with John and that. But I just think that away scheduling is in terms of
Yeah,
if you're
it's a
looking
tough
at teams
schedule.
this year, that's awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like I say, it's one of those where it's so hard to predict how the season's going to go next year. But I just think I still think it's a very, very good fit for Harbaugh, and I think it's still a great team to build on.
Yeah, I think you're gonna need someone like a Harbaugh as well to keep Jackson Dart alive within the next 3 years.
Mm.
And I can
Yeah.
say that I say that kind of in jest, but I also don't say that in jest because John Harbaugh will not let. I mean, well, look at who he's just coached to be a multi MVP winner.
Mm.
He knows how to coach someone who's a running quarterback who can make things happen with his legs. He's not going to let Jackson Dart go running headfirst into people because that's John Harbaugh will kind of cut some of that out, I think,
No,
as well. So
He
he's
needs
a
to.
good
he'll let
fit
He
for
Cam
needs
them.
to.
Scatterbo do all of that.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh
actually,
yeah,
no. Tell him that he won't let Cam Scatterbo do any of that because he'll forget that he even exists for half the season, and then he'll start
Do you
throwing
mean
in.
Jim Harbaugh, sorry, John Harbaugh's not going to use Tyron Tracy as the RB1. That ain't happening. He's
No,
useless.
I
That's
was more thinking about he's not going to use running backs. He's going to have a very good running back and just forget to use him.
I
You
mean
mean
that.
give him like 12 carries and then just forgets him in the
Yeah,
fourth quarter?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I would say
exactly.
just pull him out the fourth quarter. Just for reference though, I think this is just for those of us in this group. The Lions have the 27th hardest schedule, so that'd be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth easiest schedule. Very much looking forward to that one.
No excuse for you not to win the division then.
And then the Patriots will have the sixth hardest.
That's what
About
happened.
time.
Bad timing, yeah. But,
No, I was saying about time.
oh, about time. We just got, yeah, is what it is. The NFC North are a problem, and who else we got? NFC North and the AFC West.
I say AFC East has got AFC West, NFC North, and your extra game would be the NFC West. So
You
that'd be
said
the
the NFC
Which would
West.
be
Seahawks.
which would be the Seahawks.
You said the NFC West twice.
No, I say AFC West, NFC North,
Oh,
NFC West.
okay, sorry. Yeah,
Um,
so right as it
The
currently stands,
Seahawks.
so it'll be still. Oh, for flipping hell! I hate that place with a
Is
passion.
that away as well
It'll be a road game as well.
yeah, because the
at
NFC's on
Lumen
nine
Field
home
with that
games.
At
defense?
Lumen Field, that defense. Yeah, but it's Sam Darnold. No one gives a crap about Sam Darnold.
It,
He may not.
because
He may not be there. To be fair.
Yeah,
the the NFC is the nine home game division this year because
yeah,
Yeah.
we're eight.
they're all
Yeah,
at NFC, not at NFC. So
because apparently there's rumors and rumblings that obviously Detroit could have the home game in Germany, and apparently we could be potentially the road team. Although I kind of have a suspicious feeling that game might be Thanksgiving game.
no, we'll have a divisional game on that day. I guarantee they'll have the Bears or the Packers probably for that one. But what I would also say to that one, Carl, is see you in Germany and buy your pints when you lose, and
Right.
Nick and DJ. Um. So, but yeah, John Harbaugh to the Giants. It was underdog where I saw the 5 year, $100 million deal. Um, underdog. So, but other than that, I mean, do you want to talk about people who are just interviewing for jobs right now? I don't think that's particularly.
It's a really long list. There's no
Yeah.
point. I think
No, we'll
the
be
only
here
the
all
only
night.
the only probably thing to mention is the fact that Mike McDaniel is basically being interviewed by every single team possible. I think that's the only probably worthy thing to mention.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of people being interviewed for various different roles.
On that note, I want to give a massive shout out to the Lions fan who accosted nicely, not the way, because yesterday's episode we had a issue with someone accosting someone and it was a bad thing for the college football pod. Shout out to the Lions fan who collared Mike McDaniel in the Detroit airport and basically made the case for Detroit in the airport as Mike McDaniel was leaving. Um, I don't know how many other teams have got that. So, I mean, Mike obviously is a big fan of the show. He listens all the time. Mike, come home. No other team will do that for you. No other team will have fans making that case in the airport. But it's nice to see. Um, and what do you think? Do you think is a head coaching job too good to turn down? Or if you are someone like Mike McDaniel, and maybe this is just my wishful thinking hitting me a little bit here and a little bit of bias because I want him to come to the Lions, he didn't have an easy time of it the last few years in Miami. He hasn't had an easy time of it throughout his whole career, but he is so good, particularly with offense. Maybe just relieving some of that head coaching pressure, just focus on offense, get yourself back up. And look, the last person that Dan Campbell hired as an offensive coordinator who went on to be a head coach, like that's gone really, really well for that guy. So maybe
The
do
only
take
thing
some of that
is
pressure off.
it's a lot different going from being a head coach to have to accept that going into an OC role to then going back to then try and build yourself up back to a head coach role. I think if the right head coaching role is available and a team wants him, he'll go and be
Yeah,
a head coach.
yeah,
But if he had the choice of offensive coordinator or nothing, he probably would take an offensive coordinator role
well,
if
yeah,
again if the position was right. And I think you're probably looking at who's going to offer you the most money as OC is probably where he would then go. Um, but I think there's plenty teams out there that will be looking at Mike McDaniel's for head coaching roles because although he wasn't like amazing for the Dolphins, he still wasn't awful.
He
Like there were
wasn't,
there
but
were flashes.
remember what I said though, Sam. I said when he first came in, he tried to act like everyone's best mate, and the minute he, is acting like as a softer approach. But the minute he started trying to get tough and try and get accountability out of them, no one took him seriously, and that was the problem that he ended up getting himself into. So what will potentially happen is, when he goes into his second coaching role, he needs to have that toughness and I want accountability from the very start. Then you buy all your players in. That's what he has to do. But for me, I think Mike McDaniel. I don't think it's a knock on Mike McDaniel just to go back to be an OC and then go for a head coach role again. Because there is a saying: if you don't become a head coach in the NFL until after you get fired, he has been fired. Go back to being an OC. Know what you know you can do, and then when someone calls you in for an interview and they want the job to be a head coach, then learn from your mistakes. If he learns from his mistakes, then he could be a fantastic head coach. No questions. If he makes the same mistakes he did in the first time round, he could end up being another Josh McDaniels. Which, by the way, it's not a knock. Multiple Super Bowl champion as an offensive coordinator. There are coordinators in the Hall of Fame for Christ's sake. So let's not knock the coordinator position here. Just because you want to be a head coach, you could still be really good at you. You can still be really good in your main profession as an offensive
yeah.
coordinator.
Um, I will say this, like I say, it depends on how much you're willing to pay. Detroit Light at Sheila, I've got €4 95 here, and I'm willing
If
to put
any,
that towards the Mike
I'll
McDaniel fund.
guarantee you this, Fletch. If the Eagles come knocking, Harry Railsman is going to send him a yacht full of money and women. I'm not sure what Mike McDaniel will do with the women, but he'll send him the yacht and the money.
Um, I mean, I can get him a barge boat.
Somewhere in the canal
I can get, I can
somewhere.
get, I can get him a barge boat in Salford. And a lady from Salford. I don't think he wants a lady from Salford, to be honest with you. Um, so I mean, but that's on offer, right? That's on offer. You can always go down the canal somewhere to somewhere that has better women and nicer pubs and nicer people. But he would always have a home here.
Just get as far out of Manchester as you can.
What? That was just mean. So, I mean, but that's about it in terms of news. Actually, I'll give you one more when we turn to coaching. Uh, Mike Tomlin obviously stepped down earlier this week after 19 seasons in charge. That was on Yeah, it was on Tuesday morning. He stepped down as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, so the other team would not have covered it. Is this the right decision? And in fact, I'll ask that question now. Is this the right decision for Mike Tomlin and the
Yes.
Steelers?
I think it was long overdue. It was long overdue. Don't get me wrong, he's been a fantastic head coach. What is it? 187 wins, two ties, and I think it's like 112 losses. I think it was something on those. I could be getting those
Yeah,
statistics
he,
wrong, so I
he
apologize about
definitely
that.
had 200 wins, I think, if you combine the postseason and regular season.
Yeah, so he's been a fantastic head coach, Super Bowl champion in his second year. But I think the NFL is all about it's not what you have done, it's what have you done for me lately. And the last 10 years, the Steelers have been hovering around that 9-8, 9-7 when the original ones, 10-6, 10-7, how around those, winning a division or just sneaking a wild card, and then getting absolutely crushed in the wild card round. Or divisional round for that matter, if they had a higher seed. I think in 2020, I think they had a higher seed as well. Same with 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but here's the thing. I think the problem is with Tomlin is he had 1 year left. He was going into a contract year. He had 1 year left on his deal. Now he's walked away. He's stepped down. That contract is still valid, which basically means if any team wants to attain Mike Tomlin's services, they're gonna have to give up something to the Steelers for Mike
Yes.
Tomlin.
It's the same. It was the same situation as Peyton with the Saints, wasn't it? They had a similar
Correct? Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
Um, I mean, to be honest, if I'm looking at Tomlin, I'm probably considering potential draft capital for him.
The thing is, does Tomlin want to go back into coaching in the following year? You got to think of
I
it
mean,
as well.
after 19 years, there is the likelihood he probably doesn't want to
19
coach
years,
for a
that's a
year.
long time. That's a grind.
Mm.
He might want to, spend it. He might want to spend like a year with the missus or something, or go to a college team and try and understand the modern day version of the game, or even go to TV, go to CBS, go to Fox, go to ESPN or something.
Mm.
He might go to TV for a year just to see. Sean Payton did that. I think he was on. What was he? He was on Fox's broadcast, wasn't he? Whilst he was still in retirement, wasn't he?
I'm not sure.
I think it was Fox. People in the comment section below, go check see if Sean Payton was on the Fox broadcasting at the time. Um, so I think with the Steelers now, they know that they've got more than just the coach an issue with. Aaron Rodgers is now probably going to retire as well. Thank freaking God. And they've got a lot of veterans on that defense and play on that team that they need to get shot off. Not got shot off, but you know what I mean. They need to move on. Cam Hayward probably going to retire. They got veterans in Jalen Ramsey. Um, yeah, multiple other players as well. I think the Steelers were not. I think the Steelers realize any fan from the Steelers look at that team and go, "No Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers is gone. Next season could be just blow it all up and
Yeah,
rebuild
this
and
could
rebuild
be
with a brand new head coach." The
this
problem
could
is
be a
though,
tanking year.
it could be a tanking year. The problem is though, the owner Art Rooney II has said that the Steelers are not in a rebuild.
Mhm.
And that is the biggest posture. What have we always said, Fletch? The fish rots from the head down.
I will say this though,
It could
Brad
be. It could be the first. It could be the first. What is it? The first stage of grief, isn't it? Is denial.
No, it's anger.
Br Brad
No, isn't
It,
it? Isn't it denial into
no,
anger?
no, it goes ang. No, it goes ang. Is it? I'm pretty
Five
sure.
stages of grief.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it goes anger,
shock
denial.
dis no shock disbelief, denial, guilt, anger and bargaining, depression, reconstruction, and acceptance.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
So
Um,
they're in denial at the moment. He's in denial.
He's in denial, mate. He's been in denial for 10 flipping years.
Yeah.
Let's get it twisted here.
so what I will say though is Brad Holmes said the same thing when he turned up at the Lions and said this isn't a rebuild, it's a retool. And everybody flipping knew that it was a rebuild, given what was left. And given who was in the building and given how many people they got rid of and just what they started doing with the draft, it was so obvious it was a rebuild. Granted, that rebuild I ended up kind of coming to fruition a little bit sooner than first thought because good GMs and all that sort of stuff. But no, I never believe anyone that says it isn't a rebuild because it's purely on the basis of if I say rebuild, it incentivizes people to say, well, I'm not going to get tickets this year if we're going to purposely be crap.
Mm.
If
I
it's
mean,
a
It's a bit.
we had
retooling,
something. We had something the year after. You know, the year when we had the the year after the Super Bowl when we had that poor
I
was it
remember that
5-12 season
I
and
remember
Les
that one
Snead
because we had your first round pick.
yeah, because Les Snead came out and basically said, "This isn't a rebuild; it's a remodeling." And to be
What the
fair,
fuck is a remodeling?
It's what you do to your kitchen.
what you see in this
That's what
season,
you
that's the
exactly right.
refucking
It's what you do to
modeling.
your kitchen. Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, that's the whole point, isn't it? It's not
yeah.
a rebuild means you have to knock it down to build it back up. A remodeling is just put some more paint on the walls,
No,
pave over the cracks.
a remodel is stripping it out and putting a new unit in.
You know, I say
Yeah,
you
that's
end up
what
with
we
a
did. We
kitchen.
brought in Puka Nakua.
I say
Oh,
he's
you
Puka.
can't. That's a fifth round. It was a fifth round selection. Come on, man. That's just a case of just
Matt,
lightning. That's just catching lightning in a bottle.
Matt Stafford was the
If you
kind of new.
if you watch his the videos of Les Snead and that when they made that pick, it wasn't just a throw at the dartboard. It was a very well calculated pick.
The the
They
idea
knew what
though
they
there
were
being
doing.
if you put the remodeling of a kitchen down, Matt Stafford was the oven you bought a few years ago that's really bloody good and you kind of need to work you want to make your kitchen work
Mm.
around it. Puka Nakua is the really fancy island in the middle that like that you call it's like a breakfast bar slash
Yeah,
everything and you can lift up one of the panels and there's loads of because he's it's one of those things.
Devonte Adams is the the pan set that you get from somewhere else that's
I thought
vintage
you were
that
gonna
just
say the.
never
I thought you were
dies.
gonna say the really expensive
But it
espresso machine or something.
but it ties everything
No, that's
together.
Jared Verse.
Oh,
He's the
Jared versus it.
espresso
Okay,
machine.
he's the espresso machine. Okay, fair enough.
But the thing is, Devante, he's that really vintage item that you bought that you might never use it, but you know what? It ties everything together. And there's
Yeah,
one time that someone's got, it's like a really, someone really wants a very specific drink, so you finally get the chance to bring it out, and
yeah,
that was what happened in London. Is a kettle for them.
yeah.
You bring it out in London,
He
use
was
it a
that
lot.
vintage kettle that you stick, you know, the old style kettles that you stick on the
Pan on the
hobs that
hob.
go off.
Oh,
It
and it
may
whistles and it whistles
yeah,
like crazy.
it may be broken, it may not work, but actually turns out it works bloody well.
Can we stop talking
When
about kitchens and islands now? Because we're kind of giving a nice advertisement here to Wren Kitchens. Can we actually move
I was,
on?
I was thinking about B&Q, but that's fine. Um,
Nah,
however,
Wren a
okay.
lot less smutty.
So, I mean, but at the end of the day, this is I fair point on Mike Tomlin leaving. It is probably the best time. You were right, Carl. I hope someone has commented yet whether they do know or not, because I'll give you the answer. Yes, he went to Fox. He was Jimmy Johnson standing
Yes, he
on his
was.
off
Yeah.
days.
Mm.
So I think we need to turn this thing upside down a little bit and go on to divisional round games this weekend. Um, we'll start with, and we'll go in order of when the games are going to be played. So the first one will be the Bills at the Broncos on Saturday at 9:30 p.m. UK time. Twice before these two teams have met in the playoffs, the Bills have won both of those. In 1992, they met in the AFC Championship game. The Bills won 10-7. It was during the Bills' famous 4 Super Bowl trips in a row that they lost each and every single one of. And
Was
the
was
last
that the
time,
last was that the last time they won an away game as well?
it might have been.
So I remember
Um,
that being a stat by being 1992, the last time the Bills won away.
Mm.
So I'm wondering if it's that.
they also played earlier in 2025, but actually part of the 2024 season, in the wild card round where the Denver Broncos went to the Bills and lost 31-7.
At that point, though, Denver were
Oh yeah, that
they
that
they
they
they they they just about snuck in for a wild card, and
Mm.
it's
It limped
slightly
in really, didn't it?
overachieved with a rookie Bo Nix. This year, set this up by saying the Denver Broncos are the sixth ranked defense in the country. Sorry, in the league. The Bills are the fifth ranked offense per PFF. They are both sixth and eighth overall in the league. Is this the game? Is it Denver's elite defense versus the Bills' very, very good offense? Is that what this is going to come down to? Or does Bo Nix get a say in this?
I don't think the problem with Bo Nix is that sometimes that he can play really, really well, and then another time he could just be absolutely woeful, and then just pull the magic horseshoe out of his metaphorical anus and go mad in the fourth quarter. There's two ways of looking at this. Let's look at the Bills side of things first. They got the best offensive line in the game. They got the most dangerous player in the NFL in Josh Allen right now. Okay, all that offense is going through Josh Allen and nobody else, right? And I know people say James Cook will have a say in it. Um, he literally got he didn't get much on the ground at Jacksonville. Denver are not going to allow that to happen on for James Cook. The problem is with Denver's defense, right? And despite that, it's fantastic. It's brilliant. The secondary is great. They've got great pass rush ability. The problem is with me, and I actually did some video footage over the weekend, over the last week. Denver can be a little bit too aggressive trying to get after the quarterback. And what I mean by that is they actually run with five. If they just rush with four, contain Josh Allen and have someone spy on him, they'll actually they get more luck with him. If they decide to rush him five or even blitz him, that's when Josh Allen is at his most dangerous because then all that's doing is creating lanes for him to run into. Um, we know Josh Allen is suffering with, well, he's banged up right now. We know he's got a moderate ankle sprain, even though the NFL reporters don't want to admit it, but he has. He's had his knee twist. He had his knee twisted the Jacksonville game, and obviously he smacked his hand on an opposing player's helmet while releasing the ball, which must have hurt. Um, so he's banged up to hell. With Denver's offense, they know that they have to run the ball. But do I trust RJ Harvey and McLaughlin to be consistent enough to run the ball? Is Sean Payton going to be patient enough to run the ball? Because this Bills run defense is absolutely horrid. It can't stop anything. It couldn't stop Travis Etienne last week. Couldn't. And that is the worry me about this offense of Denver. It can light up and spark up whenever they want to. The problem is, though, it just reminds me a bit like of the Oilers back in 1993 with the run and shoot offense. It just never ever had an off. It doesn't have an off switch. They'll come out passing with Bo Nix. They don't consistently run the ball. They've got, if you're going to have any chance being this Bills team, you've got to run the ball, you've got to bleed the clock, and you've got to get home on Josh Allen. It might sound like the most simplest of things in the world to do, but that's the key to the game here for Denver to win. With the Bills, protect Josh Allen at all costs and just let him do his thing.
Yeah. One thing I will say though, the Denver Broncos have the most sacks, and it's quite comfortable by any team of any team in the league. They've
And
got
they give up the
68
least,
sacks
and
on
they
the
and they
season.
give up the least amount as well.
Yeah.
The offensive line.
So I mean, those trench battles are going to be brilliant because, well, if the most sacks given up versus the most sacks had, offense versus defense, I think I said that horribly. You know, that iron sharpens iron type stuff in the playoffs, and they've had
Yeah.
an extra week of rest. Sam, what do you reckon to that? What do the Bills have to? Most people, I think, are discrediting the Bills in this a little bit. What do you think the Bills have to do?
The Bills need to find a way to. I think they need to move the defense around a bit because I think one of the things I know it's a very good Denver Broncos defense, top five, probably well up there, probably maybe top five defenses in the league, but they need to move things because really wide receiver core is not the best by any stretch. It's certainly probably the worst in the maybe second worst in the playoffs at the moment. But I think they just need to use the weapons that they have. They need to try and find ways of getting Josh Allen out of the pocket quick and getting him rushing, getting James Cook involved, probably using Dalton Kincaid a little bit more than they did in the last game. And I think that they can do that. They can move it about. It's just that I think they need to play a lot of hurry up football in a way because I think it's a lot harder to play against hurry up offense than it is to necessarily get set and be able to read what Josh is going to do. I don't know. I don't. To be honest, I just don't see this being a particularly high scoring game at all, and that's my concern. Is that if Denver can keep this game tight, then I think they'll just go on and win it. And I think that's the problem. I think the Bills have to almost come out flying and get like 2 scores up quick and then just tick the scores over. And I think if they don't do that, which, the Bills aren't particularly well known for being massively fast starters, that's where I think it could be a bit of a worry for the Bills. But again, Denver don't put up a lot of points on offense, so I can't see them taking a massive lead. They just tick over points. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is like a 17-14 game or something ridiculous like that. I think the spread is only 1 point, I think. So
In
you're
Denver's
probably
favor.
looking at, a field goal in it, if anything. But yeah, I still think this is a really tough one to call because both defenses are hot, and I think this could be the sort of game that comes down to turnovers. And whoever gets the most turnovers probably wins this game. But we'll just have to wait. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see because I think it's an interesting one because obviously Denver have given up the second fewest yards in the regular season to the Rush, only giving up 1,500 yards, which is only second to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who and we've seen how they kept Josh Allen and James Cook in sort of in close quarters for that game. We could see another Denver Broncos sort of thing like that. The only issue is that I suppose with Jacksonville, they were giving up far more yards in the air, whereas Denver are what 2, 4, 6, 7th in the league for yards in the air.
Mm.
So that's again the worry is that this Denver defense is all round good. You're probably going to have Pat Satan's back, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah, and he should be at least with that rest. He should be fully fit and ready to go. Because I know the last, I
The
think
problem, the
maybe
problem is though, who is he going to guard? because
Well,
the Bills ain't got any good receiver. What is it, Brandon Cooks?
well,
Is,
it's
is,
likely going to be that he'll just be on what Keon Coleman probably.
no chance. Nah,
Like,
nah. It won't be Keon Coleman.
but this is the thing.
His,
Who is
his
it
two.
going to? Because we don't know who the wide receiver one is. The Bills is,
Well,
and
let's
maybe
put
that's
it.
going to benefit them.
Well, Shavers has gone on IR. So if I had to say, I think Brandon Cooks is number one. His number two is going to be Khalil Shakir, and
But
obviously you.
but the thing was, Khalil Shakir played a lot of special teams in the last game.
These guys, well, they're going to take a special team, put them on the offense. They
Yeah,
ain't got no choice. But the main guy to look out for is Dalton Kincaid. The tight ends,
yeah,
Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, the other rookie, which I can't remember his name now, so I do apologize. So they're going to be the main targets. But the Denver defense, they've got linebackers that can cover
yeah,
the tight end. They have. So again, this is another one of those games where I think Josh Allen's gonna have to win this game on his own.
yeah.
And
He's going to have to carry
there
this.
is only so many times you can do that before you get found out. And
Mhm.
of all the defenses you go, I mean, what would you rather go against? Would you rather go against the Denver defense or the Houston defense? Because whichever way you spin it, you're gonna have to play one or either or both.
Personally, I would rather go up against the Denver defense because at least, although their D line is phenomenal, I'm a lot more fearful of Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter than I would be of the guys on the defensive side
Yeah, but
for Denver.
they still got Nick Bonito.
They have, and that's what I'm saying. It's not a lot of difference, but I think Will Anderson and Hunter are absolute wrecking balls this year, especially as a tandem together. Um, it just shows you though that I think that no matter what, this is a really tough situation for Josh Allen. And like I say, I think he's going to have to carry the team through this. He's going to have to be the one to make the plays. I think that McDermott has got to find a way. I think there's if you're gonna have Josh Allen playing the way he needs to play, you're probably gonna have to throw in a lot of play action, a lot of scrambling, probably a lot of screens. I think you're just gonna have to do so much that maybe is unexpected for the Bills. I know it sounds really weird, but you almost have to kind of throw out your playbook in a certain way and kind of just go on like surprise mode and just try everything because I think unless you do, you I see this Denver defense is so intelligent in being able to destroy teams, and that's what I mean. They are the reason why the offense hasn't needed to put up a lot of points because they've been able to ride off their coattails. So yeah, I think it's a really tough one for Josh, and I think it's it's maybe that it's that one game where you or at least one of the maybe two teams that you think did the Bills fuck up not bringing in some better wide receivers?
You mean Brandon Bean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Agreed. They will address it in the off season though. How much cap?
too
How much
too late
cap?
then, isn't it? Though you have to go a whole new season.
It's
Like,
also much as that though. It's how much cap space they got. I don't think they have got much cap space.
Let's have a look. Going into 2026, the Bills have, according to Over the Cap, they are currently on -7 million.
yeah, that's just a Josh Allen re
Structure.
negotiation. He'll be
It's a
Oh,
fine.
structure.
but that'll be a mix of like, then I say that's going into 2026. That's before people are cut. That's before any others are
Yeah,
Mm.
restructured. That's before anyone else is brought in.
yeah.
So like
Retirements and all of that.
the likely figure's gonna be pretty different. Um, they are. I mean, the Lions have -9 million. The Rams are. Oh wait, where are the Rams?
We're high. We're 63 in.
63 million. Jeez,
Mm.
man.
We
Patriots
you got
35
to think
million.
though. We've got to pay Puka,
Yeah.
so that's gonna
Our cap hit for our cap space for this coming year will be between 49 and 55 million.
yeah stands at
Um,
just under 36 at the moment.
yeah. Titans out there with 95 million. Jeez,
Chiefs on -60.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Oh dear.
They
Sorry,
need
Tom.
they need some of the Saints dabble in magic
What, from 2017?
hey, the
just
Saints
from the
are only
last 10 years.
17 million.
That's
Yeah,
surprising for them. They're usually in the 70s.
yeah. So like the clear, it's finally starting to work, and maybe in 6 years they'll have a competitive team out there. Although,
That's a
although
lie.
I expect a lot of teams to get shooked tonight next year, which is but that's a tune that by the way. I'm just saying that's a banger. Um,
The perfect name for an NFL fantasy league team. You shock me all night long. ACDC.
yeah. Listen, there will be an episode this off season on fantasy team names. I almost guarantee it. And but on that note, by the way, if anyone's listening,
Seahawks, 75 million available.
Wow, if they win the Super Bowl, holy crap. They're like, oh, we want to go to that team. We want to go to that team.
yeah. On that note, though, if anyone, we're on the drive now for the off season. We will have the fantasy den returning at some point during the off season, going into next season. That'll probably be where that kind of episode lies. So if you are fantasy football inclined and you are from the UK and you would like to talk about that kind of thing, hit us up at the AEW Network. Give me a shout, and I will try and we'll work it out because we're on a drive for people at the moment. Please do come and join us. Um, but that's not what we're after. We're talking about the Bills and Broncos, not how
Yeah.
much cap space the Panthers have. So I think it's going to be a really exciting game either way. I think this one's going to be really interesting. And my one question to you guys with now, if to go back a slight bit and talk about Tomlin and Harbaugh. If I'd have told you at the beginning of the season that Zach Taylor would be the only head coach standing in the AFC North at the end of the year, I would expect you of all to have at least laughed in my face. Um, if not said, I can't work with this person anymore.
It's
I'm never
just
doing this
sad.
podcast again.
It's just
Um,
sad.
but oh no, there was a point I was getting to on that one. With the Chiefs not being in the playoffs this year, with no Ravens, a lot's been said about this being the Bills' best opportunity. This is the year the Bills need to do it. If they get bounced and they lose this weekend, Sean McDermott is the joint third longest active tenured head coach. Do you start to put questions on Sean McDermott now and say you haven't got it done in previous years when you've had a better team? May not be your best team this year, but your normal foes are gone. This should have been your year. You still couldn't do it. Do you see a Mike Tomlin or a John Harbaugh and just a look? We're gonna have to start to look elsewhere.
I think so.
Yeah,
Because
but
it's like you say, there's only so many seasons you can go with not doing what you can with arguably the one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like it just there's it you can't you just can't it's like putting the situation to like with Andy Reid didn't win all those Super Bowls and it comes to this season, he'd have been fired, if not fired before that. I just think you can't have such an elite quarterback and not build a like to not give him weapons is just bizarre. But he's made it work with what he's had to use. And I think to have your best possible attempt, given the teams that you have been competing against over the last 3 years, to not be there and you're there. This would, to me, would be like, okay, we didn't have to play the Chiefs, we didn't have to play the Ravens, but we got overtaken by the Denver Broncos, we got overtaken by the Texans, we got overtaken by the Patriots. That would be what would be more concerning part that for me in terms of Sean McDermott. And I
Well,
think it'd just be one of those situations where moving into a new stadium very, very soon. Are they in the new stadium next year?
yeah, next year. So
New
they've already
stadium, new.
potentially played the
New stadium,
last
new
home game.
yeah, so potentially new stadium, new coach, new start.
He should
No, they
have
have.
gone. He should have gone a couple of years ago.
Were the Texans the seventh? No, the Chargers were the seventh seed, weren't they?
Yeah,
So with that being said, they played their last ever game at Highmark Stadium because they cannot be. No matter who wins out of Ed, if they beat the
yeah.
Broncos, no matter who wins out of Patriots or Texans, that's going to be. They'd still be the lower seed, so they'd still be traveling to. So they played the last ever game. I'll ask you this then. One more thing on this game. I guess kind of this game before we go. Sean McDermott, 2017, he's been third longest tenured head coach. Brandon Bean has also been in the position since 2017. If it's a case of not putting the talent on the field and not getting the talent in the building, do you raise more questions about Brandon Bean?
I think there's been questions about his decision making for quite a few for a number of years now. I think he's just been again. It's possible that they might, going into that season of we're in a new stadium, new head coach, new GM, just get rid of the lot. It could happen, especially if they.
Hmm.
I mean, if they win a Super Bowl,
Oh, well, yeah.
they'll be fine. But if they don't even make it, I think if they don't make it to the NFC Championship, AFC Championship, sorry, then it wouldn't surprise me if both of them went.
Yeah. Um, Moving on though to, in fact, no, let's go quickly around the room. Bills, Broncos, who you taking in it? I'll take Broncos on this one, and those questions to be very severely asked. Carl, who you taking?
I just think Josh Allen's just going to do it. I just do. I just do. The scripts. If we had to talk to the script right now and say what's the pre for the AFC Championship game, he said it's going to be an all AFC East final. So
All right then.
I'm going to go with Buffalo to win it.
All right, Sam.
Well, like the last season of Stranger Things, I don't think there is a script. Give me the Broncos.
Okay, for
Oh!
reference, the spread is plus one. Sorry, Broncos minus 1.5. If you take into account the 3 point swing for the home team, that's technically the Bills are 1.5 favorites in this game. Take out like on a neutral field, that'd be Bills are
Mm.
favorites.
Don't worry, if Denver do win this, I'm going to be bloody buzzing. I'm going to be buzzing. But
The
so I'm more than happy to get this one wrong. But I just feel like Josh Allen is just Josh Allen at the end of the day.
the over under is 46 as well, according to
It's going to be low scoring.
365.
I mean, I think it's going to be like a 17-14 game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dirty game. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
dirty game. Um, Next game
6-3 at
though.
halftime.
I
Yeah,
mean, if you know, like we
that
said this
dirty.
yesterday on the
Don't give me
college pod.
PTSD from Sunday, Sam.
Well, going back though to like yesterday's episode, I say, if it's a good battle, like if it's genuinely good defenses going at each other, I can't. If it's just offenses who can't figure it out,
It was just
then
really shoddy quarterback play. Then it's like,
Yeah,
ugh.
yeah. But going on to what I think might be, this is a toss up in terms of which one's going to be the best game of the week. Kicking off at 1 a.m. UK time on Saturday night slash Sunday morning. With the 49ers traveling to the Seahawks. Neither team has made it uncertain what they think about the other team. They do not like each other, and they're going to continue not liking each other. I'm hoping for some fireworks. Don't know about you lads, but interested to see what you think. Now George Kittle's out. Obviously, George Kittle won't be playing.
yeah, he's on IR now, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
This do you realistically, and I mean like no disrespect to the 49ers here, do you realistically give them a full fighting chance against the Seahawks, given that at least that it's divisional opponent, so the game should be close?
I'll let Sam take the floor this one since it's the NFC West battle.
You know what? I think not having George Kittle there makes this 49ers offense even more unpredictable because we've seen, when we've seen them play without their big hitters this year, I go back to when we lost to the 49ers earlier in the season, and they didn't have George Kittle. They didn't have the wide receivers. They were playing with Kendrick Bourne. They were playing with Tunges. They were playing with, yeah, they had McCaffrey, but I mean, they had Mac Jones at quarterback. The one thing I will say is that they've still got Shanahan as head coach, and Shanahan just knows how to work a system. And I think it doesn't matter whether he has I mean, obviously it does matter with not having George Kittle, but I think that he brings in a difference when he works well under pressure, and he just manages to figure out a system that works with the players that he has. And I think that although I don't think that the 49ers will win this game, I don't think that it'll be necessarily a blowout for the Seahawks. I don't see them destroying it just because of the fact that George Kittle is out. I just think that it'll be very nervy, it'll be very dogged, and I think that it'll just be a case of, can that 49ers defense hold up stall the Seahawks offense more than anything. And I think that, the 49ers will try and keep up, and I think it'll work for a while. But eventually it'll just be that Seahawks defense just stands the test of time more than anything. Um, you know, probably the thing about the NFC West is it is completely unpredictable in the results that can happen. And I just think that this probably has the game where I think we probably, although the Seahawks are favourites, I mean, they're 7-point favourites with a over of 45. It wouldn't surprise me if this did go to, say, overtime, or even if the 49ers somehow managed to get a win. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But I just think that the Seahawks defense, again, I think the theme with this divisional round is it's all about defense. And I just think that Seattle defense is just going to be that little bit too strong and will come through.
Yeah. But you, Carl.
I agree to what Sam has said. I'm going back through the last game, looking at the statistics from last game. I'm focusing a lot on Sam Darnold, okay? He had 20 he had 26 attempts, 20 completed, 198 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He got sacked twice. His longest pass was for 24 yards at a passer rating of just under 98, right? Sam Darnold did not move the needle in that game. That was directly due to the running attack of Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, who ran in total of 171 yards, in which they averaged 6 and 4.3 yards per carry. And Seattle's defense completely annihilating Brock Purdy, even though he got sacked 3 times and obviously they got the interception. Um, I look at this game as, so when the number one seed or the number two seed, when it was 16 games before 2020, for the evolution of 7 teams in the playoffs per conference. The number one seeds, they have their bye with going to division right now. Usually the number one seeds usually go a little bit sloppy, a little bit slow, needing time to warm up. If you've got like an experienced head coach and a very mature team, you should be able to get going straight off the bat. But this Seahawks team is very, very young. Their head coach is very young. Their defensive coordinator, our guy over here in England, he's still very young. The OC is very young. All in that totality is a very young team going into the playoffs. If I'm the Niners, I am attacking them as soon as I get the ball on the first drive. the first drive, I am attacking them all the way because they might be sluggish out of the gate. Now the Seattle will have the 12th man behind them, but if the 49ers are going to have any chance of getting any points on this Seattle team, they have got to, and I repeat, they've got to score early. They have to win that first half. Because what you then do, they'll deviate away from the running game because they've done this on so many occasions this season. When they've fallen a bit behind, it's then put the ball in Sam Darnold's hands. Now, credit to Sam Darnold, he has done really well this season. But we're still waiting to see that in the postseason. He's here now, and now this is why they signed you to that contract. If the 49ers take the lead and they're keeping it close, it's down to Sam Darnold to try and win this game. Do I trust Sam Darnold to win this game on his back? See Sam shaking his head already. No, I don't either. That will be the key to the game. If the 49ers can get out of the gates early, score early, and put the Seahawks on the back foot, it will make for very, very interesting watching into the third and fourth quarter, I'd say. But you are right, Sam. Kittle out is bad enough. But their backup, Tungis, he actually did really well when Kittle went out early on in the season. Very well, in fact. So it's still a loss, but it's not a major loss. The figures with this 49ers defense, it can't stop anything. It legitimately, I would say it legitimately can't stop anything. I mean, it stopped the Eagles' offense, but let's be real, the Eagles' offense is like, well, it was just boring and dull to watch. Um,
One one thing I think is going to be interesting this week as well, with um, I've not seen too many Broncos names pop up, but what I have seen as far as this game goes is a couple of names have popped up for people taking interviews all the last week and a half. I mean, Robert Saleh's due to interview tonight. So he'll probably just not long since finished the well, so not long since it's finished. Um, while you guys are tucked up nice in bed, Robert Saleh will be interviewing for the Arizona Cardinals job. So
what a traitor! What an absolute traitor!
uh,
He's doing a Ben Johnson.
to be fair, I think this is slightly different. No one gives two craps about if a I don't know. If the Vikings coordinator went to the Lions a few years ago, no one would have batted an eye. No one cares because it's the Lions. Who cares? This is probably very similar. Who gives a crap? It's the Cardinals. Um, but Aidan Dirt's been taking interviews. Robert Saleh's been taking interviews. These are teams that, whilst all this is going on, these guys have been taking interviews, and I'm always interested to see how that pans out on the field and translates on field. Um, because maybe it's a bit of PTSD from last year as well. Speaking of Ben Johnson,
I think what's interesting to add as well, so you're talking about Sam Darnold,
Yeah,
the Seahawks actually added him to the injury report
oblique
with an
injury.
oblique.
How's he managed to
Um,
get an oblique injury on his
don't
day
know.
off?
he said
On
He's
his-
he's
no. Today wasn't a day off. He felt something while throwing today.
yeah. So he's listed as questionable, but is expected to play. Now, it's not a good thing that your starting quarterback manages to potentially have an oblique strain going into a game, but you
However,
know, could just be mind games.
Sam Darnold told reporters after practice that he felt something in his side while throwing on air. Asked what percentage he may not play. Very low percentage, closer to zero. Was tweeted out by
Yeah,
Ian
he'll
Rappaport
he'll
like
he'll
5 minutes ago.
play. It's
Basically, he pulled a muscle in his fat and he'll be fine.
yeah,
And we've all done that.
yeah, he'll play, and he'll. But to be honest, if they lose, you know what the Seahawks fans are going to go straight to. Oh, well, he was injured.
I mean, it is gonna be. I think this does have every propensity to be again a fun game. Seahawks have the fourth ranked defense in the
Mhm.
NFL and the fourth ranked offense in the NFL. The only difference is the 49ers have second ranked offense in the NFL, which look, I don't know. This divisional games are always odd. We've said this a billion different times across the network on the pods. Divisional games are just different. The You play each other twice a year, every year. Your head coaches know each other. You have the most film on these teams. These always end up being the more chaotic, the worse, the weirdest games. But going into a game like this, when you already played each other twice, for the Seahawks, their last game was the 49ers because they didn't play last week. What part of that chess match is how both teams navigate an opponent that they know so well.
Mm.
And
You know what's quite funny though is the Seahawks have not put up have put up exactly 13 points against the 49ers in both of their games this year. So they've not scored any less or any more than 13 points, which is weird. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, that's I if I'm looking at this game, I still believe that it'll be under the 45. I don't
Yeah.
see it being high scoring.
No, I think so as well. Also got to look at it from the last game as well. Time of possession. Seattle had just under 38 minutes of time possession. San Fran only had just over 22. So again, time of possession of running the ball is going to be critical here.
And I'm also excited to see the Darnolds, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, and how they get going in this playoff game, and utilizing what's the receiving yards leader by quite a way
Yeah.
this year. And they're the kind of guys. And I want to go. I'll go back to a quote that I heard on the Good Teams Win Great Teams Cover podcast. Our good friends of the network over there at Good Teams Win Great Teams Cover, and they recently had Coach Jeff Reinbold on, and he made this quote. And there's a graphic on it on the AAW NFL stuff because I love this quote so much. And it was like, you make your money in the regular season, you make your name in the playoffs. Jackson Smith and Jigba, now is your time. Like, this is where, if you're going to be a receiving leader, if you're going to, if all these things are going to be what they are, this is where Jackson Smith and Jigba needs to turn up, and this is where you are needed. And I'm very, very interested to see how that one pans out. Lads, I'm going to get a prediction off you, and Sam, I'm going to ask you to go first on this one. Are you taking the Niners or are you taking the Seahawks?
I'm going to go with the Seahawks to win an ugly game. Like something stupid, like 14-11.
Carl?
I really want to go with the Niners, just due to the fact that Seattle might be slow coming out of the gate.
You reckon a Shanahan masterclass?
The thing is, though, Shanahan has this capability of once he sees a team, especially when it's within division, when he sees a team that he already knows, he's played them. And if they, especially if they lose, he will adjust for the following game. He's a freaking choker in the Super Bowl,
He's
but
a choker. He's a choker in the NFC Championship as well.
well,
He,
yeah,
he
but
bowled it against us.
he's bottled it more in the Super Bowl than in the playoffs of the NFC. Come on, give him some credit. Oh no, you're a Rams fan. I forgot.
I will not give him any credit.
What I was thinking, Seahawks.
Yeah, Seattle.
Hopefully. Next up, we go to the Sunday first game, 8 p.m. kickoff, GMT. The Houston Texans travel to the New England Patriots. Finally, Carl, the Patriots have a test this season.
Keep digging the hole.
But there may be an asterisk on this game though because
Yeah, they've not
Nico
got
Collins
Nico.
not going to play.
No,
Exactly.
because apparently CJ Stroud is ass. I don't know.
Nico Collins is out, so CJ
Yeah,
Stroud's not that good, and he's without his best receiver. So, quite
yeah.
honestly, you get another
well,
easy game.
well,
Stick an asterisk on it.
well. So you say that. right? You say that, but I actually found something out earlier on today because I obviously, I have to do my research as I always do in this situation. So, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. So when we played the Texans last season, and we lost 41-21. Actually, we got blown out, right? These were the Texans receivers that we faced. Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon, Dalton Schultz, Damian Pierce, Xavier Hutchinson, and Caleb Stover. Notice I never mentioned Nico Collins. He never played in that game. So it's back-to-back games now where Nico Collins is not playing against the Patriots. So he didn't play in that game. Um,
He also doesn't have Tank Dell though.
he hasn't got Stephon Diggs either because he's on our side.
There you go.
So
So
yeah.
you're not just taking out Nico Collins, you're taking out two of his main hits
Well,
there.
Tank Dell's been on IR pretty much all season.
He has, but
So it's
he
going to be.
was also one of his leading receivers that year.
Yes, he was until he went down with the ACL.
Hmm.
But
Well,
anyway,
the massive destruction of his knee.
So was that?
and now
I'm gonna say
and he's
that
had
that was
over.
last year, wasn't it? The
That was
game
last
against.
year, and he's
Yeah,
come back and had 1,000 yards.
and obviously the Texans won that one.
Mm-hmm.
Just another game they've lost. They didn't win to a team above point 500. They just can't beat teams above point 500.
So this game is going to be centered completely around can the Patriots offensive line not stop the pass rush of the Houston Texans, but can they stop the bleeding?
Yeah,
This is Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. They are, as Sam has already put it, the human wrecking balls. They are just destructive. And here's the thing, weirdly, with this Houston Texans defense, they don't do exotic blitzes. They do exotic coverages. They rush four. It's basic, but they have the players that does the job easily. So D'Amico Ryan is not like this defensive guru. It's basic, it's plain and simple, but he's got the personnel to get the job done. That's what makes it more dangerous. Not to mention the fact you got El has you got I'm gonna butcher his name.
Alshire and Toto, or whatever he's called.
Just say Toto.
Okay,
or,
yeah,
oh, 202, 202, 20 or whatever
yeah,
they're called. I'm gonna
Toto.
crucify myself here. The linebackers for the Houston Texans. They're very good at covering the tight ends and so on. You got your corners as well. You got Derek Stingley, All Pro. You've got
Jalen Petrie.
did Jalen Peach. I love Jalen Peachy, by the way. I
Yeah,
think he's a
me too.
fantastic. I think he's a fantastic strong safety. He's going to be a problem. You got oh god, who's the other corner for Houston? Is it Callister? No.
You've got Lassiter.
Lassiter. That's the one. That's the one. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, you got Lassiter there as well. Across the board, this Texas defense is going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, you've
this
also got Kalen Bullock as well, who's been unbelievable this year. I think he's at
Caleb Bullock, yeah.
yeah, four interceptions. I think he got an interception in the last game as well, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Mm.
With New England, it's more of a case of can the line protect? Now, last week against the Chargers, Will Campbell at left tackle and Jared Wilson at left guard did not have their best game, but probably their worst game they've ever played in a Patriots uniform. So they're going to want to prove that, last week was nothing more than a fluke. Interestingly, Will Campbell has actually gone up against Will Anderson before, but that was in college. So I know 4 years have been and gone since then, but at least he still has a matchup. At least still has an idea. With Drake May, I think what you saw of him in the Chargers game, you're going to see probably a lot of that in this game, where there's a chance that he is just going to take off if the line can't hold up. The line needs to give him that tiny bit of time so we can get the ball to Diggs, get the ball to Booty, get the ball to Douglas. It's gonna be one. It's gonna be one of these games where we're gonna have to he's gonna have to do the same as the Chargers game. He's gonna have to be very, very patient with this one. He can't just keep going for the deep ball all the time because I think the Texans will be playing a lot of man coverage in this game. Although they do play more zone than man coverage, but I think in this game they will probably switch it up. Um, he's got to be patient again. He's got to take his licks. He fumbled the ball twice last week. If you are going to get hit, just take the sack but protect the ball. There were two instances where he got sacked and we were guaranteed points. One, and both fumbling, and obviously both fumbles came at the worst possible time as well. One's on a really good drive, and the next one was just at the 20-yard line, and then they coughed it up. Um, the Pats defense. I on Tuesday night, I was in absolute awe when I spoke to the lads how well this defense played. This is the best we've played all season. And I know people are going to say, oh, the Giants got the worst offensive line in the NFL, da 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 da, right? And that is true. But it's also down to Justin Herbert to try and make plays. Drake May did make plays. Justin Herbert didn't. He wilted like baby spinach. Um,
I mean, to be fair, I think you would if you had to play on behind that O line. To be fair, is
I
it?
wouldn't be.
Oh,
To
and
be
wilted
fair,
like baby spinach. I'd be dead. I would be alive today. You would all, I hope, be at my funeral very, very sad. I mean, just as long as you're there,
I
you can be
think
happy all you
on
want, to be fair.
thing is as
I,
well. I think probably the thing to mention because I don't want to, I think that was very uncharacteristic of Herbert. I think it was maybe more about the game got to him more than anything, or the situation got to him a lot more because
yeah.
he's actually been putting up MVP performances with that in consideration with that O line,
Hmm.
and I think that we finally got to see. It was almost like it got like the situation got too much for Herbert.
Yeah.
And I'm not. That's not a slight on Patriots on the way the Patriots defended at all. If anything, it's a massive positive for them because, like we say, we've seen Herbert put up brilliant performances even with that O line, but
Yeah.
he just couldn't do anything
I think it was,
against
I think it was,
Patriots.
I think Robert Spillane, our linebacker, after the press conference, we took questions and when someone asked him about how was you able to disguise the coverages on against the Chargers offense, apparently a couple of the offensive linemen actually approached Robert Spillane. Not sure who they were, but they approached him and they basically said, "Your coverage was so muddled up, we had no idea what the hell you was doing."
Mm.
Which is really weird because usually if it's a defensive coverage, you should know what it is. But New England will just mix it up all the time and it just confused the heck out of the Chargers O line. They did not
Yeah.
know what to do. And when eventually New England started to bring the house, they bought five, six, they bought seven guys on at one point. Remember the Anthony Jennings one where he just literally just went through the middle, just literally that was a freaking Braun Breaker spear if I've ever seen one. But we need to do more of that in this game. Now, CJ Stroud has got a better offensive line in front of him than Herbert had for the Chargers, right? But it's good, but it's not great, right? When the Steelers was rushing CJ on Monday night, they gave him problems. They gave him major, major problems. They rushed him off his spot. They made him panic. If you make him tap dance in the pocket, it becomes really problematic for him. It didn't help either. Obviously, Nico Collins went out with a head concussion, stretchered off with a head concussion, so that wasn't good. He lost his best. He's lost his best receiver there, and then as you could saw throughout that game, he really, really struggled. The defense won them that game hands down. Um, at the end, and it's a case of if we can get to CJ Stroud and keep him off the field, then it'll come down to it. It'll come down to two things. Can the Patriots offensive line hold up enough to stop that front four of Houston coming at Drake May? And the other part is who do you trust more in the critical situations? Do you trust CJ Stroud or do you trust Drake May? Those are the two things that you need to throw it, and I'll throw that at Sam.
I mean, I just think overall this is just a very tough. I think had I'm not saying it's down to one player, but had Nico Collins been available for this game, I do think it changes it up.
Yes.
Again, it makes it not more predictable, but I think it makes it an easier pick for me. At least it would have done. Now I'm not too sure. I think both teams are capable of winning this game. I also think both teams are capable of losing this game. But I've said it for the last two games. Defenses will win games. And I'm going to stick with that for this game as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the Texans win this by a 3-point lead.
It's gonna come down to, and I think it's a great point that you made there about disguising coverages and making those coverages and how you open up that defensive playbook in the playoffs in particular. There's so much film that teams have on you at this point, and we know we know just how big and bad that Texans D line is. They have the seventh most sacks, but for the third most yardage. They don't just sack. They don't just sack you. They sack, but
Yeah,
when
they
they
beat
do
you.
sack you, you are 7, 8,
Yeah.
9 yards behind the line. Um, but we also know that if there is another team that can start getting to you, and it's about who opens the gate. If you open the gate, then you start having problems. Um, and I genuinely just I think how do I word this? There are more. Who has the better running game? And who can
That'll
at least
probably
get that going? And
that'll probably be us.
yeah,
Saying that though, I think
and then
the Texans did really well. I mean, Woody Marks and Nick Chubb did very well against the Steelers.
Yeah, but the Steelers not good at stopping the run.
no, and there's a lot of things I could say about the state. Like that was a disgust. That was a horrible game.
Mm.
Um, I mean the Texans defense did what the offense did needed to do and actually score the points for them. Like this isn't just this is a defense that can score points. This is a defense that can do everything that the offense needs to do and pick it up. But what I'm going to ask you here is like, if you are like put both teams in third and 3 and third and 13 situations, who's going to convert those the most?
Drake.
Well, by stats, it's the Patriots. They're 42.9% sixth in the league, whereas the Texans are 23rd with only 37.2.
Who's better at fourth down conversions?
Again, the
Statistically.
Patriots 72% with on the second in the league. The,
I think it's gonna come down to those are the things it's gonna come down to. I think, and I will give them on that basis. Then on the basis, I will give the Patriots that advantage. But if the Nico Collins was in, then they probably wouldn't win anyway. So, um,
Well, if you
and
want to
then
add, if you want me to add a caveat to this, I have actually seen the Patriots injury report. Christian Gonzalez is out of his red non-contact jersey.
yeah, he was full practice today, wasn't
He
he?
was full practice today, so we got our best cornerback.
lovely. Um, so yeah,
It's
okay,
fine.
Chris.
Very much similar situation to Pat Satan. Who the hell is he going to be marking? Because their wide receiver core is all over the place.
So, I love Drake May since he was in college. I like you remember that first draft that we ever did. Me and Ollie were the two just sat there going fawning over Drake May at every given opportunity. I've despised CJ Stroud since he was in college purely because of where he went to college. Um, so I'll put it down. I'll take the Patriots on this one in a very close one, and I will credit Mike Vrabel and the entire Patriots organization for finally earning a goddamn win this year.
There'll still be an asterisk on it though. No Nico Collins.
Unless tomorrow night I'm gonna get called a Namby-Pamby on the Patriot Touchback podcast.
No, 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 no. That's our preview show. I have to be respectful to my guest. Which, by the way, if you don't mind me saying, our guest tomorrow night is none other than Graham Henderson, or as everyone knows, affectionately known him as from the DAZN adverts, the Tilted Texan. Sorry, Kilted Texan. Beg your
Oh
pardon.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, no, I love it. Of course you can. Like the Patriot Touchback is on the AAW network. We doing internal promotion. Feel free to do it all the time. Um, so should be a great that should be a great episode. I can't wait to get called something that's not a namby-pamby on there. So yeah, I'll
Listen,
take.
I it was the review show. I said I didn't say the preview show. You two backed me last week, and I have whole respect for you.
Right, Carl, I'm gonna do something next. Carl, right, watch it. You gotta go. That's the so I'm gonna guess. So that's two for the Texans, me for the Patriots. Moving on to I love it. I love how you're trying so hard, and I really really appreciate that about you. Um, I really do. I appreciate it, Carl. So okay, it's the last game of the week. The Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears. Sam, I think it's only fair that you get to be the one to start us off on this one.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's only the Bears.
Wow. It's only the Bears in minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That is some cold weather.
I'll be in my
If
nice
only
warm
you
bed
had a
watching this game.
quarterback who was
Who is
used to
used to it?
playing
I
in
know.
the Midwest in these type of
I mean,
temperatures.
and a wide receiver who's used to it as well, in Devontae Adams. It's just a shame that the
Both
rest of
of
the team aren't used to it.
both of them have an extra little adage in there to wanting to beat the Bears
Mm.
because of those ties to the Midwest. And
And then you've got Puka, who just I think he's built out of steel, so he'll be fine. But no, this is going to be an interesting game because I think obviously anyone who watched the Packers Bears game, the one thing I think you can give credit to this Bears team for is they know how to fight and claw and stay in games.
yeah,
And I think that and to go and then win games in in comeback situations, we've been praising Matthew Stafford for his game-winning drives for the last God knows how many years. You've got to give it to the Bears. They knew how to get back into that game, and
yeah.
they managed to beat a Green Bay team who, you know, was it 16-3 up or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's just the only thing that I would say is in that game, Bears did well to get back into the game and to go on and win it. But I think it was more the Packers beat themselves than the Bears beat the Packers. And I think that could be if the Bears want to beat the Rams this year, this in this game, they've got to do better at I think being in this game, because I don't think the Rams are, we've seen, the Rams have beaten themselves this year more than teams have beaten them, I would say. But I think that the Rams know how to win games in the playoffs. And I know that, our record in cold weather situations is not great and all that, but I don't care what anyone says, this is a step up on the Packers. We're a much better team than the Packers. We're a much more potent offense. I think our defense is probably, I think probably not recently, but our defense has been brilliant this year. I just I'm cautiously optimistic because I think we can win, but I do think that the weather is going to play a huge part in this. And that is the only thing that I would say is that if the wind is going to be as bad as they expect it to be, it's meant to be 20 miles per hour winds. It then comes down to who has the better running game and who's better at stopping the run. And I think we just about have a better running game than the Bears, and we have a better running defense because I think we were ranked third on PFF for running offense against the rush. Could be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure
Against the
we were
rush,
third
like
against the rush.
rushing defense.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're third.
yeah, we were ranked third. And it was one of the things that sort of, I suppose, is the reason why I would say we kind of we kept ourselves in games and we beat the Seahawks, and then obviously kept shot ourselves in the foot more on the defense and special teams side of it. Was we stopped the run game. And I think it's one of the things we've been really good at this year. And I think if this comes down to a running game, I think we'll just about edge out the Bears in that situation. I think if it becomes a passing game, I think we're better in the air. The only worry I would have is if McVay puts it in Stafford's hands in this weather too much, as we've seen against Carolina, he can make the odd wild throw, and the Bears are brilliant at getting interceptions.
I mean,
because interceptions will win this game for the Bears if they can get them. It's just whether they can get them or not.
I mean, some of those wild throws though, like the Puka Nakua drop against the Panthers,
That was ridiculous. He should have caught that.
Horrible. And I can't remember who I was talking to, but they said something about, I need Puka Nakua to get me this bet. It might have been over under yards, and I went, he will not drop another ball for the rest of the playoffs, right? You drop ones like that. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown had a bit of a problem with drops this year. Just after he did the Trump dance.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's had anything to do with it, but that had something to do with it. But like, it was one of those. Though, you watch someone like that drop a ball like that, and you go, they're never dropping another one ever again in their life potentially, because you bring that in 99 times out of 100, 999 times out of 1,000. This is the only one ever in their life. So it's some of those though were a case of like, I don't know, it's not necessarily a wild throw, but obviously Stafford will be a gunslinger when he needs to.
Yeah.
It's getting it in, but that's where the Bears have him good coverage. That's where the Bears being good in coverage, good in tackles, good in, keeping close and not getting too much separation. And where those interceptions come from, making Stafford be a bit of a gunslinger, that's probably where you will be able to. The Chicago Bears will find some success in that.
Yeah. I just wanted to kind of go back to the last game because I thought I'd mention it, being that what we talked about last week. I put a bet on last week on the Rams game. I had Colby Parkinson to get a touchdown.
Ooh.
I had Puka Nakua to get a touchdown.
Ooh.
I had the spread of Carolina Panthers 14.5 plus 14.5. So that came in. Rams to win the game. Thank God they did. Puka Nakua, 5 receptions. Tet McMillan, 3. Tommy Tremble, 2. And Matthew Stafford over 260.5 yards. I also had Colby Parkinson, 3 receptions. He had 2.
Oh.
I lost due to the fact that they didn't throw him the damn ball. Well, actually, technically, he dropped the catch.
That's really harsh.
I would have won £348 off a £5 bet.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it was that close.
Oh, God.
But I said to Amy afterwards, I was like, sacrificing £5 meant we got through. I'll take that all day of the week. So
you're one of those like NIL donors now, aren't you? Like if I have to put some money forward so we can see some success, I will do it. I will play my part. No, I would say how many? No, I would say he had the 3.
He had 3 targets, 2 catches, and one of the third target he dropped. It would have been a it would have been a loss of yardage, but he still would have caught another. He still
That
dropped it.
that's literally you just need the reception and fuck the
Yeah,
yardage, man.
I
Like
know.
the oh,
So
I'm actually a
it's
little
one of
bit
those
heartbroken
things,
by
you
it.
know. It's just annoying, but you know, we won the game, so who gives a shit? Just would have been
Exactly.
nice. Would have been nice to win the game and get the 350.
I would say that would have been a peak. That's like a nice little takeaway for Sunday night when you're potentially getting ready to watch the game that will kick off at 11:30 p.m. UK time. So that's a little bit better for everyone involved. Um, not the quite the 1 a.m. Still not perfect, but slightly earlier bedtime for everyone.
Yeah, it's a 2:30 bedtime, 2:30 3 o'clock bedtime than necessarily a
Is it
4
manageable
4:30.
for you?
Yeah,
Do you that manageable?
I'll be
Okay.
up for this. I'll be up watching this.
Mm.
No worries. Well, I'll look forward to hopefully seeing you a little bit, and receiving updates from the state of both of you. By the way, that's Sunday. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on both of you because I want to know how you're both getting on. Carl, I will
Hello.
let you. Obviously, you do need to come in and weigh in on this game
So
as a resident Caleb Williams hater.
no, not Caleb Williams hate. I just think he's mid. And here's where I'm going to go with this. Okay, watching that game. First of all, that that Packers game against the Bears, that should not have been blown. That should not have been blown, right? I don't care what anybody says. Um, the cardiac Bears continue to do this. They're playing a very, very good team in the LA Rams. And I don't think Sean McVay is going to allow that one to happen. With Caleb Williams, his most dangerous is when he's being off script, when he's being flushed out the pocket, and you saw him make that fourth down conversion. But incredible throw. But he's a quarterback that plays. If he's a quarterback versus the highlight reel, he's a highlight reel quarterback. If you showed someone who wasn't new to the NFL, you showed him a highlight with all Caleb Williams' amazing throws, and be like, oh my god, is he the best quarterback in the world? Then you watch him play an actual full game, and he can't even take the dump offs. He can't take the dump offs. He can't throw to the slant. He can't throw. He can't throw fades. He can't do that shit. He just simply can't. And this is where the Rams have got to get to grips with this. They know they can get. You can get at this. Remember, they've also lost their left tackle as well now. Ozzy Trapilo. He's out. So that line of the Bears has got weaker. Jared Verse is going to be on the weak side of that line. Guarantee you. I think with the Rams, that game against the Panthers was we knew that we would go for the plus 14 and a half because it's like, nah, there's no way they're blowing the Panthers out. I was not expecting it to be that close. I'm
Yeah,
like, you literally played with your I love to use this term phrase. You played with your food in that
yeah.
game.
I nearly got
You
egg off
kept
it.
playing with your peas. Just eat
Yeah,
them. You do with your child, with our children.
yeah. As well, the Panthers gave us so many opportunities to kill that game off as well.
If you lost to Bryce Young, mate, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But
I
anyway,
wouldn't have been on tonight if we'd have lost to the Panthers. I would have been on for the rest of the year, to be honest.
um, yeah, with the Bears, they have to run the ball. They have to use DeAndre Swift. They have to use Malongai. They've got to try to establish they've got a running game. If you're gonna keep this Rams offense off the field, you've got to run the ball. You've got to win the time of possession. And you've got to give. You need to give Caleb Williams the easy throws. But the problem is though, he doesn't want the easy throws. He wants the 3rd and 9, 4th and 14 or whatever it is, because that's his game script. Keep him in the game script because that's his weakness. Don't flush him out. Keep him contained. Oh, I've just been informed. Apparently, we've got snow for Sunday's game. Apparently, yay. Um, yeah. So I think the Bears they had the chance of winning this game, but if they just continue the same thing over and over again, they're gonna get caught. I just think this Rams team is just too it's just too head smart. I think they're capable of holding on to this lead. They know what they got to do.
We've also got supposedly going to get Kevin Dotson back, which is huge for our O
Yeah,
line.
Kevin Dotson back as well.
Because I think
So
again, you watch if you watch that Panthers game, Derek Brown was on D pretty much most of the game, and he was winning that battle.
it will be. It will be.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to say, as far as the Rams are concerned, this Bears defense ain't very good. Either running the ball, either running on them or throwing on them. They're not good. So you can score on them. Stafford cannot continue to keep throwing these interceptions because Bears are one of the best teams in the NFL with takeaways. They're very good at taking away the ball. Um, that's the one thing that slightly worries me. But the way I just look at this game, the only way the Rams are losing is if they beat themselves.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you. Fully with you.
I think the thing as well is one of the things that I think we were talking in the LA Rams Discord, and I think was it by the third quarter we'd only had 9 snaps in 13 personnel.
Mm.
And 13 personnel has been our bread and butter for most of the year. And this game, we just didn't use it at all. Now, I know Terrence Ferguson was out, but we still had Higby, we still had Parkinson, and we still had Davis Allen. And it was really frustrating to watch us not use it, especially as it's been sort of our bread and butter for most of this year. It wouldn't surprise me with Terrence Ferguson being back, we saw more 13 personnel, especially with the high winds, because we're going to need to have a lot more shorter plays, or at least a lot more shorter passes that then break off bigger yardage. So it wouldn't surprise
Yeah.
me if we saw more 13 personnel and, a few more, the screenplays or the jet sweeps that we saw that Puka ran. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a lot more of them, and sort of try and utilize that running game a bit more. But yeah, I think it's just a case of the Bears, similar to the Packers game, the Bears won't necessarily win this game. The Rams will lose it. The Rams will shoot themselves in the foot and lose it like the Packers did.
Yeah. Um, the weather, I did get it up. I'll get it back up in 1 second. Don't know why I'm doing that right now.
20
Uh,
mile an hour winds and uh,
look,
potential between 0 and minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit is what I read. That was the last I read.
yeah. So I've got it here as like -6, -30 to -6 to -13
Yeah,
Celsius.
mine's saying -7 to -13. Either way, I'm glad I'm going to be in bed watching this game.
Yeah, it is going to be a cold one.
Cold. It's
But
going to be freezing.
Tell you what,
like you say, Stafford's used to it. Devontae Adams is used to it. There is history in this game, but at the same time, we do have a poor record in cold weather stadiums.
Don't make
yeah.
your excuses now.
Oh, I'm not.
Speak
I'm not making excuses. Just simply putting out the facts.
Speaking of being warm, I'm just gonna sit here in my uni. I'm gonna sit here in my uni all night and watch it, and I
Ah,
cannot wait.
what a transition.
So, do you know why I got the? Do you want to know the reason why I own an Udi now? I didn't have one until Christmas. I got it for Christmas, and there's one reason that it was on my Christmas list. It was the only thing on my Christmas list, and that was because Sam joined, I think it was the college pod one night wearing an Udi, and I was so jealous because it looked so comfy that I said to Mrs. Fletcher,
They are so comfy.
all I want for Christmas is a new deck. I really, really
Yeah.
want one. Because I only ever, like, other than the odd jersey, I wear hoodies anyway. So just a fucking
Is that a
jersey.
standard Udi or is that a Detroit one?
It's a PlayStation one.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Because it was the
Yeah.
only one left in Primark and she was not going to pay the
Oh,
extortionate
bless
prices
her.
for a Stranger Things one.
Yeah.
Um,
I've got two. I've got a Marvel one and a golf one now. I'm going to
so,
get a collection of hoodies.
so I'm going to say, if anyone's ever sat there like, wow, Fletch, you look really, really comfy and really, really happy with yourself, it's all Sam. Because of Sam. That I feel that I am that I am this way. Um, I know I wouldn't put all of that on you. Not all of me in general. Just the warmth and the coziness is because of Sam. The other thing, the only last thing I'll mention on this game is I was fired up when listening to Davante Adams' press conference after the game.
Mm,
The quote from Matthew Stafford on that final drive, the let's snatch their souls,
yeah,
that's what you want. And that is someone who, at the end of the day, I have a, like, I don't like the Bears, obviously. Um,
you like Matthew Stafford.
I like Matthew Stafford, obviously. But their win over the Packers last week, I have a lot of respect for this Bears team and what Ben Johnson has done for them. I said I need to see it before I believe it in January, and you know what? They did it. So I can sit here and say, and I will be, I won't sit here and stand up. I will stand on the whole. They did it. I'm not saying I was wrong, but they showed me that they can do it. I never said they couldn't do it in January, just said I need to see it, and they did it. So fair play. Like I can't take that away from them. I'm not going to take that away from them, and I will stand on the fact that they did that. Um, I do think the Rams take this one. I just there's that Rams team is too good. Sean McVay is, as it stands, for me, the best, if not the second best head coach, probably the best head coach in the NFL. This isn't just any guy. This Rams team is just too good. There are too many things about it, and I think it's written in the stars that we get a Rams Seahawks like a NFC Championship, and it's gonna be great. And then so I think the Rams take it, but I don't want. I can't. I want to come out there and people have put it on me previously that my way I feel about the Bears. A lot of respect towards Ben Johnson and what that Bears team is doing. So
I think it's quite apt that you know you look at the uh, spread for this game. It's +4, so the Rams are 4 point favorites. Now, if you take in home field advantage, that means we're a touchdown favorite to win this game.
yeah,
I don't agree with that at all. I think again, very much similar to the last game. I think it'll be a 3 point. It'll be a 3 pointer, and actually, that probably benefits Vegas more than anyone. That's probably why they put it as a 4 point score. So
I'm fine with it being a touch. I'm fine. Blah, 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 blah. Try that again in English. Um, I am more than fine with the Rams being a touchdown favorite on the basis of what I've seen and know about both of these teams.
mm.
I think it's and that is generally fair. Um, I've had my own issues with the Packers anyway for other issues like with actual football play. I told you I'm not. I said about Jordan Love, there are two Jordan Loves, and the fact is, like, there's two Jordan Loves, and they can both turn up in the same game. There's the Jordan Love that deserves a Super Bowl run, and then there's the Jordan Love that should be on a practice squad in the UFL. Like, there are two Jordan Loves, both
Mm.
of them came out. Very good Jordan Love came out first half. Jordan Love, who just I don't like as a quarterback, came out in the second half. You that's not Stafford. There are a couple of Staffords, but there's no such thing as a UFL Stafford. There is elite Stafford who's launching at 60 yards and nailing on everything, and then there's just slightly worse than that. And
There's three interceptions. Stafford.
there is three interception Stafford, and against this Bears team, that could very well be a Stafford that turns up, but that Stafford is a lot better than the other CJ Stroud. That Stafford is a lot better than the other Jordan Love you aren't going to get the opportunity. If the Rams go ahead, you don't have the opportunity to come back. If the Bears want to win this game, they have to start strong. You have to not let the Rams get into any sort of real rhythm. You can't let Stafford be hitting Puka Nakua early. You can't let, like, there are so many things you can't let the Rams do. It's just too
Mm.
much.
And as well with that is Stafford fifth or fourth or fifth in NFL history for game-winning drives. He's the highest active quarterback for game-winning drives, but I think he's
Absolutely.
fourth or fifth overall.
I don't know where he is overall, but all I'm
I
saying
think
is, like,
Tom Brady's number one, and I think Drew Brees is number two, and I think there's one other above him, and I think he's fourth. I'm convinced he's fourth or fifth, but still, that's the other side of it is that, and we saw it against the Panthers. If they leave us within a 3.4 point deficit, and we go into that fourth quarter on a needing to go 75 yards, he's fifth, needing to go
well,
75 yards, um, I say 65 yards now, in 3 minutes, he'll do it.
right. I'll put this on you. I remember I've told this to Chapman a couple of times. I think I said this story on one of the other pods, right? I have a favourite Matt Stafford comeback drive because, again, I've been saying this, that Stafford is clutch for a long, 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 long time,
Are we
right?
talking about the dislocated shoulder moment?
No, but that's elite. But that was slightly before. I'm talking about one that I witnessed. That was slightly, just slightly before my time, because that was against the Browns or the Bengals. Browns. Um, the my favorite one was, like, I think it was 2020. We were playing the Falcons, and I was in Blackpool on holiday with the family. And you talk about October 2020, so, like, you can't open your eyes without needing a face mask. You can't do, like, it was like mid COVID, first opportunity for anyone to go anywhere and do anything. Hotels dead, barely any food on the menu. Anyway, right? We went for some food in the hotel because bugger all else was open, and you couldn't go really anywhere else to get food. And the Lions kick off against the Falcons, and I was watching the game at the table while we were eating tea. Then my family wanted to go and do a walk and go and see the illuminations, because that's what every Northern child does every year, ever. You have to go see the Blackpool illuminations. And it was a really, really close game, and I told everyone to walk on without me. I was sat in my hotel room just waiting to finish this game and go catch up to everyone. It was the one where Todd Gurley, I think it was Todd Gurley, um, might not have been. Anyway, was told by Matt Wright, like, go down, get the first down and go down. And Levi Onwuzurike, I believe,
That was Todd Gurley.
yeah, Levi Onwuzurike kind of, as Todd Gurley goes to come down, he
Yeah,
pushes
he
him
sort of
into the end
slipped as
zone.
well, didn't he? Yeah.
45 seconds, 75 yards, no timeouts. The Lions were 4 points down, and the Lions won that game. And there was a video online of me running through the reception of this hotel room with a Detroit Lions face mask, Detroit Lions hat, Detroit Lions hoodie, just going fucking crazy. Um, he is clutch, and the last thing we'll do before we go, that little bit of trivia, because I know we haven't done it for a while on the college pod, so Sam really misses my kind of trivia. Stafford is technically fifth/fourth on the list. Third and fourth are tied, so it's tied third and whatnot. Can you tell me who the other four are above him?
Yeah, Tom Brady, Drew
Yep,
Brees.
yep.
Um,
Tom Brady is
what?
first. Drew Brees is
Yeah,
third.
is it Manning? One of the Mannings.
One of the Mannings.
Eli, Peyton.
Peyton, he's second. So Tom Brady 58, Peyton Manning 54, Drew Brees 53, and someone's tied with Drew Brees. Also, you are right, Stafford's the last active.
Yeah. Who is the only reason I should know this because I was looking at it the other day.
Fun fact about them: all of the top five have top five won Super Bowls. So it was a Super Bowl winning from within our lifetimes.
Big Ben. Yeah, thought it was.
Ben Roethlisberger. So Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger both on 53. Stafford's on 50.
Yeah.
So if he plays one more year, he'll be
Well, no, all he has to do
definitely
is he
second.
has to do a game-winning drive against the Bears, game-winning drive against the Seattle Seahawks or whoever, or Niners. Let's
Yeah.
be fair, and then to do one in the Super Bowl, and he's level with them too.
And then stay one more year.
Oh,
You get
then he'd
you'll
smash it. He'd get
yeah.
another 5 easy.
I'd be telling me defense, right? Just let them score a couple of touchdowns, let them get back in the game, and then let
Just
me go with
let
the
them get
game
a
winning
point
drive at the
ahead,
end.
and I'll do the rest.
Yeah. Right, so that's where we'll leave it. Realize I'm conscious of time. Quick one. Well, I've realized I haven't asked, by the way. Sam, who you taking?
Rams.
I'm taking Rams. Carl,
Full house.
full house, all Rams. Lovely. Right, with that in mind, have a lovely weekend, the pair of you. I hope you both have defibrillators in your houses and they are both near. And you don't need them, but I hope you have them just in case.
I got very strong whiskey ready to go.
I got very close for using mine.
What whiskey or
Very.
defibrillator? Which one?
I was pacing the front room on that final drive.
Oh no, but yeah, but sad. Every time I'm watching the game, since we're in the postseason, I've been standing. I can't sit down watch Patriots games. Even it's only when we're up by like 3 scores that I sit down. It's like I'm 2 scores. I'm doing the Mike Vrabel, literally just standing up on my knees, just doing this, watching the game. It is unbearable.
I need live feed of this. I think we could make the AAW could make so much money, right? And I mean real money. If for
Like
£5 a
a goggle
month,
box player.
like
Gogglebox.
if you had a private YouTube link or something to a live feed of Carl watching games, not like on a random Tuesday at 2 in the afternoon, that's weird. But like during games, put it behind like £5 a month on Patreon or something. I think you'd make a killing. We could do it. We could trial it with Carl. I think that'd make the most money. But you could do it with like I'm
Oh
apparently
yeah,
quite
that's
fun
it.
to
Use
watch.
me as the fucking guinea pig. What?
That's the plan.
Mhm.
But apparently I'm quite fun to watch games apart from at 3 in the morning because like the things I get called for nearly waking Mrs. Fletch up at 3 in the morning are just
You're fortunate. I have to keep my mouth shut every time because obviously my son's asleep upstairs. So every time we score, like
Yeah, I couldn't
it's
properly
like
celebrate that Colby
it's like
Parkinson touchdown.
it's
I
like
was
if we
actually very
it's like if
quiet.
we somehow get to the AFC Championship and we end up beating, let's say we end up just beating Buffalo, I might not be able to keep the silencer down on that note.
that.
I think
Listen,
I'm
what?
hoping that if we get to the Seahawks, I might go down to my mates and watch it there because he's a Seahawks fan. So I might
Oh,
have to go down there and
Ooh,
watch
that'd be fun.
oh,
Now that's a live feed I want.
it.
But no, like it should be. I hope you both have the best time watching your teams. Enjoy. I hope you are both in your championship games. Go get a win. I'll be sat here nice and warm in my Ude, live tweeting on AAW_NFL. I'll be in the Discord and I hope you will all be too. Playoffs are better with friends. Head to the links in the description of this episode and we will see you next week. We've got the review show that'll be out on Tuesday morning. I do believe
Carl will be listening intently.
responses are already ready for the war. The Namby-Pambies are ready to respond.
talking of the Namby-Pambies, what do they actually choose as their predictions? Because I didn't hear it in the review show, or they did, or you didn't say it at all.
The red mist had already gone over his eyes by that point.
I cannot remember off the top of my head. I cannot remember.
Oh,
So we'll run with that. The Namby-Pambies will have a response ready, I do believe, ready to go. Because there's civil war happening here right now, so I really would start getting clicks if I were you. Um,
Heard all that namby-pamby.
Over
we're
at Namby
hurdling the
Pamby.
Namby-Pambies today. Yes, we
Over at
are.
Namby Pambies. Let's go.